Cooks in the Kitchen. Today we are making seafood chowder. Now, one of my favorite things about winter on the north coast of California is Dungeness crab season. So we went down to the docks on the opening day of the season this year, got 4 crab, brought them home, steamed them, picked them. I took the shells from 2 crab, added a couple of carrots and some celery, boiled all that, and I made some crab stock, which we'll be using. And you could use chicken broth if you have to. So in addition to crab, we're going to be putting in 2 kinds of shrimp, big shrimp and bay shrimp. And we're going to be using some halibut that also came from the docks. So to start with, we are going to cook 4 slices of bacon that I have cut up into very small pieces. We're going to be using the grease from this bacon also to make a roux for our soup. So I'm just going to cook this bacon. It's going to take about 10 minutes and we will return. Actually, you know, the thing about crab season this year is it's delayed a little. It didn't start till January 15th. It usually starts December 1st. And we're out of town until right before January 15th, so we got back just in time for crab season. And on our way home, we went through both Mexico City Airport, which is the busiest airport in the world, and LAX, which is no slouch as far as having a lot of people. And we managed to get a little bit of a cold and everything on the way home. So it's just a souvenir of the trip. So this crab, or this seafood chowder is going to be kind of like a healthy, warm thing to eat when you're sick. So that's been going about 7 minutes and it's starting to stick to the bottom a little, so we're ready to move on. This is 1 onion, diced up quite small, and 3 small celery ribs, also diced up quite small. We're just going to throw these in and cook these for about 3 to 5 minutes. You want the onions to get translucent. And somebody failed at chopping.
For me, I was busy just being retired, suffering with my cold.
Okay, that's a nice little medley there. So we'll let this cook and come back when it's time to add the garlic. This is cooking right along nicely. We're going to add, this is about, well, this was actually 9 cloves of garlic, but they were really lame. The ones at the center of the head. So what you're looking for is probably 4 to 6 cloves of garlic. And, oh, still some.
It's always hard to get it out of there.
Here we go. And a ½ teaspoon of salt. Or Kona sea salt here. And a ½ teaspoon of ground pepper. And we're going to let this cook together for a moment. Nice aromatic beginning to a good stew. Right, so now we are going to finish making our roux here. This is 1/3 cup of gluten-free flour. And we're going to put this in here, and we really want to make sure that the flour cooks a little bit. Raw flour in a dish like this just doesn't cut it. So we're going to get this to cook a bit. And this just dries up all the oil right away. And so now everything can start burning and sticking. So we'll keep it moving around. And then, once our flour's had a chance to cook a little, lump on the spoon. I don't want that. All right, now it's starting to brown on the bottom. So we're going to add just a little bit of our crab stock. And we're just going to add this a little bit at a time and let it get soaked up. Now it smells like a seafood dish. And we'll add a little more. And each time I add and stir, I just wait until it's all soaked up. And then add some more. And I'm really trying to add like a quarter cup or less each time. Towards the end of this process, we'll add it a little faster. This is still giving that flour a chance to cook and really incorporate with the stock so that it's not lumpy. I've added just a little over 2 cups of the crab broth, and you can see it's still this really nice, thick, kind of gluey consistency. It's working. This is really going to make a nice chowdery. So one reason for adding the broth a little bit at a time is that it never really stops cooking, and the roux has a chance to really keep going with the thickening. What I've got here is 2 tablespoons of thyme. This is fresh out of the garden since that still grows in the winter. 2 bay leaves, which we found on our hanging off a neighbor's fence on our walk home the other night, and a little bit of saffron threads and a half a teaspoon of Old Bay seasoning. I make my own, but you can find it. And I just want to get these in here and get them stirred in before I add the potatoes. And I have 1.5 pounds of red potatoes that I've diced into fairly small bites. Those are going to be floating around in the stew when we're all done here. And I'm going to turn my burner all the way down and let this just really slowly simmer for about 15 minutes until those potatoes are cooked. And then all we have to do is add our seafood and some parsley and some cream, and we've got chowder. Okay, so we've given our potatoes some time to cook. We've got this nice thick stew going here. And I think it's time we add our fish. So in goes the halibut. And I'm gonna have to turn the heat up because this halibut's still cold. And I want it to cook for 5 minutes before I add anything else. And I left these as, you know, fairly large chunks. You want a nice piece of fish when you're going through your chowder. So we'll give this 5 minutes. I turned the heat up, so hopefully it looks like it's gonna start cooking right away. So set the timer. Oops, 55. No. And then we'll add our shrimp and cook that briefly. And then we're getting close to done. All right, it's had, fish has had 5 minutes to cook. We're gonna add the shrimp. Some of the shrimp is already cooked, but some of it is not. So we're gonna let this cook for 3 minutes. And add the crab and the cream and the parsley, and our dish will be done. All right, so that should have been enough time for the shrimp. Looks like it's pinked up a little bit. That should be good. So now we go in with fresh parsley from the garden, chopped up very fine. You don't want big old hunks of parsley in your bite. And then I'm gonna put in some crab. Now, we have a lot of crab here. So I'm gonna crumble in a bunch of it, but I think we're gonna save some for other things. But for me, this is what's gonna make this soup, is the crab. And I just really want it to be in there. And it doesn't need to be in big chunks. Nice thing about crab is you get those little veins of crab throughout, and it's great. Yeah, even
That's
more.
good. Stop.
More, I think.
Save some.
And then this is 1 cup of heavy cream, and you know that's going to make it good. And we're just going to stir this, and now all this has to do is come back up to hot, and it's ready to serve. Look at that, it's beautiful. That just looks like a lovely seafood chowder.
We're going to be eating this for days.
Apparently so. Okay, that's good. That's doing what it's supposed to do. So there you have it. We'll come back when it's dished out. So this is ready to dish up. Of course, I slop it all over the rim, as usual. They'll clean it up at the pass.
You just get so excited.
And we have our some gluten-free sourdough bread for me to try. That should be good with this.
We put some butter on it and put it under the broiler. That looks amazing. Except for
the little bit of sloppage.
yeah,
There you go.
and camera shadows. Okay, have a taste. Tell us how you like it.
So I can already tell this is just a very chowdery consistency. It's got a delicious flavor. This is the seafood chowder that just I don't know, that you want. It warms you up. Have it with a glass of Chardonnay, or as in our case, a glass of Kirkland Cab. But it's just really, really good. So thanks for watching Two Cooks in the Kitchen. Subscribe to our channel. Look for the recipe on our website at twocooksinthekitchen.net. And we'll see you next time.